at Microsoft's E2 Global Educator Exchange event. The event took place at Microsoft's headquarters in Washington in the United States. The educators were selected from amongst the most innovative in the world to attend the occasion. And in studio with us now, we've got Zoeb Husson, who is the Managing Director of Microsoft South Africa, to tell us a little bit more about this. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Leanne. It's a pleasure.
Good. I need some explanation as to what this event, it sounds highly intelligent. It sounds awesome. But tell me a little bit more about it. What does it entail?
It is a mouthful, first of all, in terms of the name. But what we do on an annual basis is we look for teachers who have done innovative things out in the field.
Yeah.
So these are real educators, passionate about technology, who are using technology and making a difference every day. And so we bring them together once a year, 300 of them. And it's an opportunity for them to co-create, share best practice, get some new learnings, because you know the world of technology is changing so rapidly. So it's also an opportunity for them to update as well their own skills.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. But how relevant is this program?
Relevant in terms of South Africa?
Yeah, in terms of this global exchange event and in South African terms.
So if you think about, us being a mobile-first continent, and I use those words mobile first because, pretty much everyone has one of these little small screens that they're carrying around. And the importance of having the ability to communicate and teach and learn through these new technologies, I think it's extremely relevant. We have a crisis in the country in terms of teacher capacity. But there are amazing people, men and women, who are waking up every day in this teaching profession, who are doing amazing things with technology and helping them scale. So, a big part of this scaling is about teaching with technology.
Yeah.
So it's not just about having the technology. Tools are available, many of them out there by many vendors. The important thing is how do you teach with technology, and that's what we as Microsoft focus on.
I suppose that is the future. Teaching with technology is the way forward. It almost gets to a point that if you don't understand technology and if you are not technological, it almost equates to being illiterate.
Yeah, look, I think technology by itself is not a panacea to fix everything. You've got to take the technology, the pedagogy, put them together, and then you can have teachers who have the ability to teach with technology together with the subject matter content. That's when the magic happens.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to try and enable. We have one part of the equation where we are investing heavily. Over the last couple of years, we've trained something like 50,000 teachers in South Africa.
Wonderful. Yeah.
On a specific module that says this is how you teach with technology, because having the tools itself is not the answer.
It's not the answer. So let's talk about the practices from that global scale that were shared with the educators on using technology in the classroom.
So here's what the interesting part is, right? As South Africa, we contributed some IP to the global pool. Two of our teachers, one of them from Limpopo province, a rural area, actually did something called Computer Adventures and has used computers and technology to make math more interesting.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about you, but math was never the most exciting thing to learn. But through games and song and PowerPoint presentations, creating content, she's making maths more interesting for her students. We had a teacher in Cape Town who joined this and is sharing on a global stage how, using the topic of HIV, asked his students to put together videos using their own devices, their own phones.
Yeah.
And now they've taken this collection of videos around HIV, uploaded it to a website, and they're sharing it with other schools. So now you have sharing taking place. So this was seen as innovative as well. And so we are contributing to this global pool, that sharing of best practice. And through this exchange, they now have a collection of similarly minded people across the world where they can learn from and co-create and bring that value back to South Africa.
Which is quite amazing. But let's put ourselves in perspective. How is South Africa doing on a global scale? How do we compare to developed countries when it comes to technology and education?
Poorly.
Yeah,
is the short answer.
I would imagine so.
Despite the amounts of money we are spending. And I think, we have a responsibility both as government, private sector, academics to come together and work towards improving the situation. I think what we are seeing is steady progress. I think the big issue is how fast is the progress being made.
Yeah.
And, it comes back to teacher capacity and how do we actually transform both teaching with technology as well as getting the content matter up as well.
where are we dropping the ball? Who do we place the blame on? Because unfortunately, it's got to land somewhere, because we need to rectify the situation to make it better. So where do we fix? Where do we go to try and speed up the process?
So I think, at this moment, blame is interesting but not relevant.
Yeah.
We can't really fix anything that's happened. I think our focus as a company is around enabling and ensuring that we work very closely with government and other partners in the industry to come up with solutions that are relevant. When it comes to teaching with technology, as I said, making the investment, we have a bold ambition. We've done about 50,000 teachers. We want to pay that forward through the 50,000 teachers. And we have an ambition together with some of our private sector partners through technology centers across the country. There's about 130 to actually make sure we can reach the bold ambition being all of the teachers in the country.
Yeah, I mean, we've got just talking about here in this province, I mean, we've got a fabulous MEC who's got a great vision of having these technological schools with touch whiteboards and everybody having tablets and, working like that. But in reality, what you're saying is we look at our advancement and it's just not up there. It's just not fast enough.
And that's why I come back. You could have the most wonderfully equipped schools. If you don't have the right capacity in the teacher in the classroom, this is not something, we're not replacing teachers, let's be very clear. That excitement and that magic happens when the teacher is well capacitated, both from the knowledge point of view, as well as the ability to use technology to make it a great interactive experience for the kids. And I think that's something we've got to continue to work very closely with our teacher communities and make sure we, to enhance what the great ones are doing.
Yes.
Look to addressing some of the issues and challenges that others have. But there are amazing men and women out there. I mean, in Limpopo province, for example, a lot of these teachers are using their own personal money in terms of access to get access to technology, in terms of data and connection and modem connection, etc. So, there's still a bit of work to be done. I think government has a role to play. I think, industry has a role to play. And certainly, the academics have a role to play. Yeah.
Well, let's look at this program. I'm reading that we saw just 4 of our educators get the opportunity to actually experience the event. Is this going to be an annual occurrence? Will we see more and more teachers being chosen to go ahead and do this exchange?
So the way the program works is, in country we would nominate those. It's a process where we invite teachers to share with us the best practices. These are the guys and girls who know what's going on and what they're doing and what's been successful for them in the classroom. So, it's all about collaboration for us. So we want the teachers to bring the applications forward, to do the amazing things, to share with us the amazing things they're doing in the classroom, so that we can actually sit and say, how do we select amongst them? The trick is less about going to the global, to be honest, the education exchange. It's more about us entrenching a culture of sharing, lesson plans, creating a community of teachers within South Africa.
Yeah. What about coming back and putting it into practice? Because that's what's all important.
So the way we also select the teachers who go are the ones who've demonstrated capability. So the 4 that went this year were actually nominated as innovative educators last year.
Okay.
And they have a track record of sharing and paying it forward. A very interesting story. I think it was Mabore from Limpopo province, who was on a Greyhound bus with some colleagues, and the bus broke down. And she promptly used the time that the bus was, broken down to actually do a lesson with her colleagues.
Oh, wow. Can you believe it? That's who you're looking for.
Exactly.
That's who you're looking for.
Those are the gems.
Who are the others? I mean, just to give us an example, who are the teachers that went?
So we had Makudu and Mabore from Limpopo province. We had Wayne and Linda from the Western Cape that came through as well.
Ah, fantastic. Well, I think it's amazing. Keep us updated on how it goes and also just the growth of all of this. But more importantly, it's using all of this to just take our education to another level. And, it doesn't help. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us here on the program. The Managing Director of Microsoft South Africa, Zoab Hussain, talking to us about this Global Educator Exchange event. But, I can't help but not highlight this newspaper front page that I'm looking at. It's a picture on the front page of the Star. And, we're talking about school children and what they're learning, and perhaps we can just get a shot of this picture. And this, this is what upsets us here in our classrooms in Gauteng. And this is how the children are learning, sitting on buckets, sitting on the back of chairs, you know, not even having the basics to try and learn and experience education. And yeah, this is the problem. This is the problem. But what can you do? You know, you just have to work on it one step at a time. This is Tsakani Primary School in Kagiso on the West Rand, where the majority of pupils do not have the adequate chairs, desks, and other learning materials to further themselves. So this is just in practice, unfortunately, where we're at right now. Let's take a break. We'll see you after this.